I practice self-love, and in what ways might this practice open me up to love from others? I practice self-love by caring for myself and ensuring my safety in every experience. Apart from these two practices, knowing love from anyone I feel unsafe with and cared for in my experience with them will be difficult. Embracing self-love necessitates a deep comprehension of one's identity and discerning the aspects of oneself to be cherished. While many assume they harbor self-love, they often lack a true understanding of their essence, leaving them uncertain about their desires for self-love and the love they seek from others. It's common for individuals to experience a sense of fragmentation and disrepair within themselves. The pursuit of self-love is frequently misconstrued as a need for self-liking, as a prerequisite for genuine self-appreciation. I commit to practicing self-love daily to accept and affirm my perceived identity. Yet, I often struggle, disliking myself more frequently than I experience feelings of self-love. So, asking, how do I practice self-love, and in what ways might this practice open me up to love from others, is a tricky question. But practicing loving myself unconditionally, being aware of every experience, and ensuring I do everything I can to ensure I care for myself and feel safe in my experiences, to me, that's self-love. When I fail to practice self-love, I look for validation from others. This type of validation is how I measure my love for myself and accept love from others. Validation must first be what we unconditionally give ourselves. If we feel invalidated by others, it's often a sign that we don't love ourselves unless others validate us. Self-validation is about ensuring your boundaries are in place and that you feel safe and cared for by yourself first. When you have secured yourself, you will know love when you receive it from others. Failing to cultivate self-love often leads me to seek external validation, using it as a yardstick for my self-worth and as a criterion for accepting love from others. However, validation should fundamentally originate from within and be offered to oneself unconditionally. Experiencing feelings of invalidation from others indicates a reliance on external affirmation for self-esteem. True self-validation involves establishing and maintaining personal boundaries, ensuring one's safety and care. Only after achieving a state of self-assuredness and self-protection can one truly recognize and appreciate love when it comes from others. I practice self-love by caring for myself in every experience and ensuring I'm safe. Ensuring I'm cared for and ensuring my safety is how I see my practice of self-love spilling over into accepting love from others. I accept others' protection and their assurance that my relationship with them is safe and caring above all else. I'm not asking for your acceptance. I'm asking for your care and that you ensure my safety in our experience with one another. That's it. Care and safety is what love looks and feels like to me. In the next two chapters, we will discuss self-care and self-care. The first step to practicing self-love is caring for yourself. The second step is ensuring your safety. Every experience with yourself and others should ensure you are cared for and safe. These two foundational steps toward loving yourself are necessary for all the next steps to work. Because care is what you do when you value who you are. Not every action you take, but accepting who you are requires care. It would be best to care enough about yourself to protect your experiences. Otherwise, you are vulnerable to whatever your experiences with yourself and others bring. Self-care. Self-care is valuable because it embodies the act of valuing oneself. It goes beyond mere actions. It's an acceptance and affirmation of who you are at your core. When you practice self-care, you consciously decide to attend to your physical, emotional, and mental needs. This not only nurtures your well-being, but also reinforces your self-esteem and resilience. It's a fundamental expression of self-respect, signaling to yourself and others that your needs and well-being are important. Physical care. The road to self-care is sometimes paved with gold. Often, physical care can become the least care we value for ourselves. What do physicals look like? It means knowing your body's needs and doing what is necessary to ensure survival. The boundaries of these physicals may not look like what we are used to, but boundaries around your physical care are often the key to your emotional and mental care. If you don't value physical care, then emotional and mental care will go uncared for as a result. The physical aspect of self-care involves acknowledging and addressing your body's needs to ensure its well-being and survival. Physical self-care includes maintaining a balanced diet, exercising regularly, getting adequate rest, and seeking medical care when necessary. The importance of physical self-care lies in its direct impact on your overall health and its foundational role in supporting emotional and mental well-being. Neglecting physical care can lead to a deterioration in these other areas, highlighting the interconnectedness of our well-being. What is emotional self-care? Emotional care is not about making you feel good in every experience with yourself and others. Emotional care is about allowing yourself to feel cared for in every emotion you experience. It means not covering up what you feel and not being insensitive to why you feel the way you do. This type of care, emotional care, must first be self-practiced before you can experience it from others. If you are emotionally negligent to yourself, you won't have the strength or the capacity to know when you are being emotionally cared for by others. Emotional self-care fosters an environment where all emotions are acknowledged and accepted without judgment. This practice involves allowing yourself to experience and express a range of emotions, understanding the reasons behind these feelings, and addressing them healthfully. Emotional self-care is critical for building emotional resilience, allowing individuals to navigate life's ups and downs with a sense of balance and understanding. It requires an introspective approach, where self-compassion and acceptance are paramount, setting the stage for healthier emotional interactions with others. Mental self-care is one of the key foundations of physical and emotional care. It's the bridge that connects every experience to self-love. When you are mentally deficient, you tolerate and are vulnerable to self-neglect and self-harm, the opposite of self-care and self-protection. Mental self-care means getting help and knowing when your psychological care is at risk. Most people aren't even cognizant enough to know when they have neglected mental care. Mental self-care is the practice of maintaining and improving one's psychological well-being. It involves activities and practices that help manage stress, reduce anxiety, and enhance mood. This can include seeking therapy or counseling, practicing mindfulness or meditation, engaging in activities that promote mental stimulation and relaxation, and ensuring adequate sleep. Mental self-care is a bridge linking physical and emotional care, emphasizing that our mental state influences our ability to care for ourselves in other areas. Being aware of and addressing mental health needs is essential for preventing neglect and harm, underscoring the importance of recognizing when professional help may be needed. Together, these components of self-care work synergistically to foster a holistic sense of well-being. They highlight the importance of treating oneself with kindness and respect, acknowledging that self-care is not a luxury but a necessity for a healthy and fulfilling life. Self-protection is invaluable as it is the cornerstone of maintaining personal integrity and a healthy environment. It is the practice of safeguarding one's well-being across physical, emotional, and mental domains, ensuring that personal boundaries are respected and upheld. The essence of self-protection lies in promoting personal growth, resilience, and happiness by preventing exposure to harm and negative influences. Self-protection. Self-protection, on the other hand, is valuable because it safeguards your boundaries and well-being. It involves recognizing and avoiding situations that can harm you physically, emotionally, or mentally. By prioritizing self-protection, you are actively working to create a safe environment for yourself, which is essential for personal growth and happiness. It ensures you are not exposed to unnecessary harm, allowing you to maintain your integrity and confidently pursue your goals. Self-protection is about setting boundaries and not allowing those boundaries to be violated. That begins with self-protection that secures your safety. Self-protection is about removing vulnerable barriers from your experiences and securing your physical, emotional, and mental in all your experiences with yourself first and then with others. Physical protection involves every physical experience and setting the parameters for how you deal with yourself physically first. If you harm yourself in a way that can hurt you physically, you set yourself up for others to have that same access to you. The physical protection aspect of self-protection involves establishing and respecting physical boundaries that protect one's body and health. It includes recognizing behaviors or habits that may be self-harmful and avoiding situations or individuals that pose a risk to physical safety. By prioritizing physical protection, individuals can prevent others from infringing on their physical space and well-being, reinforcing the importance of self-respect and care. Emotional protection is about setting emotional boundaries that encapsulate you, so that your emotional experiences feel genuine to you, and that you aren't lacking emotional intelligence to the degree that you aren't protected from yourself and others. Emotional protection is about creating boundaries that shield one's emotional health. This involves cultivating emotional intelligence to recognize and respond to emotions healthily, ensuring that one's emotional experiences are authentic and respected. Emotional protection allows individuals to navigate their feelings without being overwhelmed or unduly influenced by external pressures, fostering a sense of emotional security and stability. Mental protection boundaries set up how you experience physical and mental protection. When you are mentally vulnerable, you disconnect the bridge to how you can accept love from others. The mental barriers aren't the same as mental boundaries. One requires intellectual humility towards yourself and others to have safe mental experiences. The mind, they say, is a terrible thing to waste on yourself and others. Setting mental boundaries is not setting mental barriers. They aren't the same thing. Establishing mental boundaries is crucial for protecting one's psychological well-being. This distinction between mental barriers and boundaries is key. While barriers may isolate and hinder growth, boundaries provide a safe space for mental exploration and development. Mental protection involves exercising intellectual humility and being open to learning and growth, while safeguarding against harmful influences or thought patterns. It ensures that the mind remains a place for positive self-reflection and growth, rather than a source of self-doubt or negativity. Self-protection is about consciously choosing environments, relationships, and behaviors that nurture and support one's overall well-being. It empowers individuals to live authentically and confidently pursue their goals, knowing that they have established a solid foundation of care and respect for themselves. This holistic approach to self-protection is integral to developing a healthy, loving relationship with oneself and enjoying a fulfilling life. Both self-care and self-protection are crucial for a healthy relationship with oneself. They are the bedrock upon which all other aspects of self-love are built. Without them, your ability to love and value yourself can become compromised, leaving you susceptible to negative influences and unable to embrace your worth fully. Boundaries, self-care boundaries. Setting boundaries is an essential aspect of maintaining healthy relationships and self-care. They help in managing stress, reducing resentment, and promoting emotional well-being. Here's an overview of the types of boundaries you might consider establishing in your life. 1. Emotional boundaries. These involve differentiating your emotions from those of others. Emotional boundaries are about respecting and understanding your feelings, and not taking on the emotional burden of others. It also means not allowing someone to invalidate your feelings or manipulate your emotions. 2. Physical boundaries relate to your personal space, privacy, and body. It's about who can touch you, when, and where. It's also about respecting others' physical boundaries and ensuring mutual consent in physical interaction. 3. Time boundaries. This involves setting aside time for your various roles and responsibilities, while ensuring you have time for self-care and relaxation. It's about saying no to excessive workloads, unnecessary meetings, or social gatherings that can drain your energy. 4. Intellectual boundaries are about respecting and appreciating differing opinions and thoughts. It involves the right to have your ideas heard and respected, as well as listening to and respecting others' ideas, even if you disagree. 5. Material boundaries. These boundaries pertain to your possessions and resources, including money and personal belongings, and how others use or treat them. It involves limiting what you can share and lend and ensuring others respect your belongings. 6. Sexual boundaries. This involves understanding and expressing your comfort level with sexual activities, including the right to consent and discussing preferences and limits. It's about mutual respect and consent in sexual relationships. 7. Workplace boundaries are about maintaining a professional relationship with colleagues and superiors, ensuring a balance between work and personal life. and not allowing work to invade your time and space excessively. 8. Digital boundaries. In an increasingly online world, digital boundaries are crucial. They involve privacy settings, time spent on devices, and online information sharing. It's about protecting your privacy and ensuring a healthy balance between digital and real-life interactions. Setting these boundaries requires clear communication, self-awareness, and, sometimes, the willingness to enforce them, even if it means facing conflict. It's also important to respect others' boundaries, as you would want yours to be respected. Establishing and maintaining healthy boundaries is a dynamic process that can lead to more fulfilling and respectful relationships.